Hi there, this is Tiara, and this is day 12 of my mini retirement, practicing at retirement and learning more things about how to take care of myself. I'm here with Jordana Adler, and we are at the Santa Cruz Neurofeedback Center, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about neurofeedback and heart rate variability.
Yeah, so heart variability and neurofeedback both fall under the umbrella of biofeedback, which is basically using computer interfaces to see objective measures of your biophysiology. So what's happening physiologically inside of the body. Neurofeedback is basically the exact same thing, we're just using the neurological data. So we're kind of using computers and technology to learn to regulate what's happening internally. The cool part about it is you can learn to, you have subjective differences at times inside of the self, and then you're able to see in real time the objective shifts that are happening in congruence with your subjective, internal thoughts or whatever's happening inside that you can tell. So heart rate variability is relatively simple. The concept is really learning to smooth out your heart rate. So every time you inhale, your heart rate gets faster. Every time you exhale, your heart rate gets slower, just a little bit. So most people, you learn to really inhale and exhale in a rhythm, and that can your heart rate essentially eventually becomes into this sine wave, into this coherence, into a coherent rhythm. Heart math calls it coherence, and they have a whole bunch of science on it and all this other stuff that can happen when you're in coherence. But at the very basic concept, this coherence seems to be linked to feelings of well-being. It's linked to the activation of your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and restore. And most people are stuck very often in their sympathetic, in this, fight or flight. So if you want to try to get your body, sometimes you can try to mentally use meditation to calm your body down. One thing heart rate variability can do is kind of bypass your mind and get your body into this parasympathetic rest and restore place that can very often, the feedback loop, let your mind kind of calm down. So that's what's pretty cool about HRV. Neurofeedback basically uses this concept of operant conditioning. So you're hooked up, you're getting the brain signals going, and then when the brain signals are in a way that we would like them to be, which is the more ideal, the sound gets louder on the computer, the picture gets larger, you have these quote-unquote rewards, these positive rewards. And by doing that, based on all this scientific data, they've put together fMRIs and electrical EEGs and all of this other stuff. They've learned over time, when someone comes in with a certain symptom, this is what we're trying to get their brain to do to not have that symptom. People, they use huge database of people that don't have those symptoms. What's the difference between the person that doesn't have a symptom, their brain, and someone who does have a symptom? So by using that data set, where someone's coming in and saying, hey, I have this specific symptom, we're putting that into the computer based on their brainwave frequencies, their EEGs, and we're saying, okay, based on that, this is what's off. This is what's off based on z-scores, so based on out of the norm of the data set that we're looking at. So at the very basic core, you're trying to shift your brain waves, shift what's happening neurologically, and you're learning to do that basically in a subjective way. So you're learning over time, hey, something objective happened, the screen got bigger, the sound got louder, this is the ideal. How do I recreate that on my own? How do I learn to regulate my own internal biophysiology using, really my consciousness, my ability to do it? So yeah, at a basic core, that's kind of, we're learning to regulate our bodies, and hopefully so we have a little bit more control over, can't control a lot of things that happen to us in life, but hopefully one thing we can learn to do is at least kind of control what's happening internally. Yeah.
Great, thank you.